Hi everyone, and welcome back to Morning Cup. I'm so glad you're here today because I have the lovely Jennifer with me, and I'm going to introduce her, and then we're going to dive right into her journey and everything she has to offer today, which is amazing. I cannot wait. So Jen uses gratitude and aromatherapy to transform the lives of people and their pets. Jen Altieri is a certified life coach and founder of Hope in Our Heart life coaching for women, veterinarian certified animal aromatherapists, because pets are family too. Jen is also founder of Kindness Shared, Happiness Squared. Together, her hubby and family, they run Kindness Shared as a 100% volunteer-based charity. The Kindness Shared mission is for every child and animal to know kindness, love, and happiness. Thank you so much, Jen, for being here today.
Oh, I am so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
I can't wait to start talking and diving into your journey because I find it so fascinating. Everything you've done, even when we met years ago now at a workshop that you were facilitating years ago. But I would love for you to really just talk about your journey. How did you get started with life coaching, but also with aromatherapy and the charity? I know it's a lot.
All right, so I'll do my best to navigate that in a way that makes sense. And I think for a lot of your entrepreneurs, it's really, you hear a lot about find your niche, right? Like and that could almost be overwhelming. It can make you feel stuck if you haven't figured it out. And a life coach for pets and people is definitely a unique niche. So for anybody watching, if you don't have that unique of a niche yet, no worries. Yes, it is important. And I think there is a certain amount of finding your niche comes by just taking the action steps and following your intuition, because I don't know how many of us started where we are now when we started our entrepreneurial journey, right? Like it's something that naturally happens as you're just listening to your own guidance. And yes, coaches are important, business coaches, all of the things, and so they are not wrong that these things are important. It's just give yourself a little bit of grace and a little bit of space to find that niche without the pressure is what I would say first. Yeah. So the animal component for me started very early. Like I started my life as a painfully shy child who related to animals best. That was my comfort zone. And then growing up, that didn't really go away. I always had that connection, and I used to train horses and teach horseback riding. And as an instructor and as a trainer, the shyness, although I think we learn to cope with and find the strengths in being shy and being introverted, but it doesn't necessarily go away, which is a good thing. So that's another thing that I want to speak to any of your introverted entrepreneurs out there. It's such a blessing when you really get comfortable in it and see the strengths. Because like, I'm not going to be for everybody. Nobody's going to be for everybody. I work very well with other introverted women because we just get it. We're on the same vibe. Extroverted women, I might bore a little bit, but introverted, we're good. So I was able to do things with horses that other people couldn't because I was just very chill. I didn't mess with their vibe. I could teach, and I didn't know anything about the law of attraction at this time, but it was amazing how I got all of the really shy kids to teach. I got all of the introverted women, and it became, that's where they got their so much confidence, because we know everything leaks onto other areas of our life, right? So you can have a hobby or a sport or one area of your life where you really excel and build your confidence, and that leaks over into the rest of your life. And so I was life coaching in a way back then when I didn't really even understand these things. I was just doing what I was called to do, what I loved to do. And after we moved to, that was New Jersey, after we moved to Florida, I left the horse world behind professionally and dove into personal development. I am totally a product of the product. My personal life, my marriage, my parenting, everything was just this giant mess. So I dove into personal development work. And when it changed my life, I knew a couple of things. One, I love to teach. So this became like the next thing I was going to teach. And the second thing is I knew that if I could do it, everybody could do it. So it was just like the next natural thing for me to teach. So I took my personal experience and got certified in all of the things. I'm NLP certified. I'm a whole bunch of certifications, which, you know, you pull out, you use what's great about that is you can pull out the pieces that work and then form your own programs and your own process and get the feedback from real live people for what works and what doesn't. So, so I've been life coaching now for quite a while, and animals have not gone away though, right? And shortly after I started my own life coaching business, so that was my entrance into entrepreneurship and running my own business and how that goes. I've always knew that I wanted to have a charity. That was just something that was in me. We grew up, my mom was very big into service to the community and service in any way that we can. And so we were always volunteering, doing things all over the place. And that was just a vision. Like I wanted my own so I could make the decisions of, you know, like what I was most passionate about. So once Hope Inrheart was rolling, I was able to turn my focus a little bit to start Kind and Shared. And at the time, and also good to know, like just start wherever you are. Like I knew that I wanted to incorporate animals and kids at some point. Also starting out, I did not have the means to do that. We didn't have the resources. We didn't have anything. I had a heart to serve though. So I'm like, you just have to start with where you are. So what we did is I went out and I found other charities that were doing really good work, that were passionate about the people that they served and were fiscally responsible. And I asked them, where are your gaps? Because no matter how large or small the budgets are, there's always gaps for the little things. So I figured we could go in and fill in the gaps. For them, it's better to collaborate than to compete, whether you're competing for dollars and I never wanted to overlap services, as that's just redundant. So I'm like, let's just collaborate and be helpful where we can and support people who are already out there doing really great work. And so that's how we started. Right now, we do have our own property. So we're on a 5-acre farm. We have 19 rescue therapy animals. And while we have our own therapy programs and our own programs in general, we have not left behind any of the charities that we were filling in gaps from when we didn't have our own footing. We still do all that. So we still collaborate with everybody. Those relationships are super important, and they're not any less important or valuable when we started as they are now. So we cover it all. So the animals are still very much involved. And aromatherapy is the newest piece, which again, just gradually came because I have been using essential oils for myself for a while. And then I would learn little bits here and there because I knew it was something that was super safe and super effective for my clients to use. So I've been helping them choose the right oils for their situations for quite some time. And it was really the animals that prompted me to learn more and study, particularly one. We have Dapper, our rescue dog, came in a wheelchair and with just so many problems and so many wounds to heal and emotional problems. And he's on so many medications that I knew I wanted to find alternatives to most of that. And I found a really great program with a world-renowned vet to get certified in. So that's what I did. And I work with her still extensively. She is my mentor. So if I have any challenges that are beyond me, it's like I have a vet in my pocket. It's just such a great resource. She's such a giving, loving person. So I always have that. So I have complete confidence in, yes, I can help you. And if I can't help you, I it'll tell you, but it won't be something I can't figure out because you don't just have me. You know, we have this incredible person to turn to. And probably the best part, like the healing the animals is awesome. Yeah. Since most of them come to me from being a coaching client first, I know the behind the curtains of what goes on in their home life. A lot of them makes sense, right? Yeah. So when we're choosing oils, I can help them choose oils that I know, because a lot of times if you're dealing with animals with emotional stuff, you're going to diffuse. That's the most popular way to use your oil, is to diffuse it. So I can help them choose oils, but the animals have to self-select. They are part of the process for sure. But oils that will be effective for them, perhaps for their spouse, for their children, like for the whole household. Because when you're diffusing for an animal and people are a little bit, they don't think much of it. They're very resistant, right? They do not meet that with any kind of resistance, because you're diffusing for this animal. But I happen to know that oil can suit that person for this and this person for this. And all of a sudden people are like, wow, you know what? My husband's actually a funny guy. Oh my goodness. Like, wow, it's so much more peaceful in my house now. And wow, I've never seen my husband so relaxed. So we get to have an effect on the whole family, just because everybody has this combined interest in having the animal have the best life that they can. And it helps everybody. So it's just amazing the way that has all unfolded. And I could have never planned that from the beginning. I could have never planned that. So if I was working on my niche, all the way back then, it's different. So it's going to evolve, just like everything in life does, right? Your dreams evolve, everything evolves. So where you are today, your niche might be very different from where it is tomorrow. So just be flexible along the way.
Yes. No, that's such an important topic too, because I do think, especially when you're starting out as a coach, you're told, okay, find a niche, focus in on that niche. You can change it later on, but like focus in. And a lot of times you're right, it does evolve based off of new information we get, different experiences we have with clients, and it shapes and turns things to what you're ultimately supposed to do in that time frame. And it can still evolve. That's the beautiful thing. It's not set in stone for eternity. But I love that you do work with animals and the aromatherapy, because aromatherapy is not really talked about a lot. So could you kind of touch a little bit further into what that is? I know it has to do with oils, but for others to really understand the depth of it.
Yeah, sure. And you're right. It's not talked about it a lot. And when you do hear about it, it's anecdotal. But there's so much science backing the use of essential oils. So using essential oils, you can use them for whether it's emotional needs, physical health needs. There is actually, if you look in the in the science-backed evidence, there is research connecting it to being able to help heal cancer. There are so many anti-tumoral oils. So you can use it for so many things. What I would say with pet, and really important to note when we talk about essential oils, that you use a therapeutic grade essential oil, because perfume oils, or most of the brands that you get off of the store shelves, are not therapeutic. They're more of a perfume grade. So that you want to be careful with. There's really only 2 or 3 brands that I recommend to use for pets. So, so just, don't just go grabbing your oils now that we're talking about it and diffuse or put on your pets or anything like that. So I definitely want to, say that, because not all oils are created equally, but the therapeutic grade ones, you can really have an effect emotionally very quickly, and also topically using different oils for different reasons. Like if you look at right now, so many people have come through like pandemic puppies, right? People adopted all, and then these puppies have been home with their owners. the entire lot, like their entire lives are the pandemic. So they don't understand that, oh, life is changing and my owner's going out to work or leaving or going out for hours, and they have separation anxiety, and they're tearing up the house or tearing up the crate or themselves. Like, so that has been one of my biggest sources of clients is separation anxiety, and we can help that with oils. Senior dogs, just like people, we look, they need more medications, they have more aches and pains, they have arthritis, they have this and that. And the typical medications for senior dogs are, not so good on their tummy after they've been taking them for a while, just like people. So if we can swap that out for essential oils, then, it is kind of like the alternative medicine. It's, essential oils are in that family for sure. There's so much that you can do with it.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because I do think, you're right. Like, not every supplement or oil is created equal. So really being able to be aware of that, especially for our animals, they're our family. So it's really important that we have the right one. So that's why I'm really glad we're talking about this and you're bringing it up, because it's not talked about, but two, especially for our pets, because we want to protect them, and they do have arthritis or cancer or anything else that comes up, that we want to protect them and keep them as safe as possible. But I want to kind of jump back to when you started life coaching. I know you were going through a lot with life and everything, and you were diving deep into personal development. What was that push for you to start your own business?
I think it's just that natural part of me that loves to teach. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I came from teaching people how to ride horses, but I would teach anything. Like if I used to take piano when I was little. I never got very good at it, but I would sit you down and let me teach you how to play this piece that I learned. I love to teach, and I love to learn. So it was totally just the natural. Where I did have a problem, and if people are thinking about life coaching, they may have this as well. I struggled with what was mine to teach and what was other people's material, because everything I learned, somebody taught me. So I wanted to be very careful. And also there's that confidence piece, because I didn't have that confidence going out to say, it's okay, here's my part of the journey, and decipher that. So what I did was, which was a good thing, because then it leads you to your next step, right? Because that's when I'm like, all right, well, I need to get certifications of my own, then I'll be okay. And that's when I got certified in NLP and went through all that. So I had that. Then I got certified in passion test facilitating. And by the time I came out of those are my first two, I felt like, okay, these people are totally giving me permission to go out and take this to the world. That's why they do it. So I had the confidence to then say, hey, okay, I know how to do this. I've been doing it a while. And what I did was I started by not charging. I had a goal of a certain amount of clients that I would work with where I was not going to charge, so that if I made a mistake, they weren't like, hey, what do you, like, they knew, like, I'm new at this. I don't want to charge you because I'm learning as I go. And they were fine with that. And every time I taught, I went out and I coached somebody. I can't tell you how many times I thought, how am I going to help them through that? And I did. And it was amazing. So I really think the universe gives you the people that you are supposed to help, and our own limiting beliefs, even as a life coach, like any life coach who doesn't say, oh, I don't have any limiting beliefs, you should probably turn and run, right? Because everybody's human and it is all a process. So, I would look at so many people and be worried, like, can I deliver them the value that they need? And every time it's like the universe was saying, yes, you can look at this. Yes, you can look at this. And I just knew I was going in, this is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing, because I kept getting that evidence of it.
Yes. And no, you talked a lot about like imposter syndrome, right? Where a lot of times people might feel like, you didn't say it, but that's like what I was gathering as well, of just that fear or the doubt or not believing, like, oh, can I do this? I haven't experienced this before, but pushing through that and knowing you're more than capable of doing it, but you were able to take that and fuel that to helping your clients and being able to continue on that journey. And I'm curious, how did it evolve, at least with the life coaching? I know it kind of moved into more animals too, but it's kind of like I guess, a balance, from what you've told me. But what do you think was that evolution of just continuing moving forward with the universe providing like validation as well as your own validation of doing it?
Yeah, I'm just one of those people. I just keep taking the next step.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to, I don't have to know where it's going. If I think it's a good idea or it sounds like, I just go for it. I just take the next step, because what is the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to fail. Well, not like I haven't done that before. Like, so you fail, you learn. And that's totally fine. What, I would say the biggest change that I didn't expect, like, okay, yes, you're working with animals now. Well, that makes total sense. If since childhood, that makes total sense.
Right.
But all of the work that I'm doing online now, that is a surprise to me, because like, you were at a gratitude gathering in
Yes.
person.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my thing. Like, I wanted to gather women in person. I didn't have a call to reach out to, further than our geographical area. I was totally happy with what we were doing. And then COVID, and not that we didn't do some things online. Of course I did some things online, but the main business for group stuff was in person. Then COVID comes, and I'm like, well, how can I be of service and, bring what I do to as many people as I can? That's when I started doing gratitude gatherings online. And in the beginning, we did them. And I say we, because I asked Larita, who you may remember from the gratitude gathering, I'm like, hey, would you do this with me? Let's do this every week. Let's show up and do this.
Mm-hmm.
And she was totally on board. So we did it during, for, I forget for how long, just as a free service. And then when it became like, okay, this is the new normal, we shifted into a paid membership model. And yeah, I mean, if people really wanted it and they didn't have the means, we do have scholarships in there. Like, we don't want financial needs to be a barrier to anybody who wants it. But so gratitude gatherings are going strong. I get so much value out of doing them. We're doing them twice a week now. And that membership has just brought so many beautiful women together. And that's my thing with Hope in a Heart, is transformation through gratitude, because what do we see all the time, right? People are their worst critics. They are not their best cheerleader. They are their worst critics. Yeah. And what if there's a better way? Like, there is a better way. I promise you, you can love yourself into the next best version of yourself lightning years faster than you can beat yourself up there. So that's where the whole, premise of let's do this weekly. And we used to do them like seasonally. So now we do them weekly. We have them twice a week. And gratitude gatherings has been such a blessing that has grown out of COVID, that we've been able to connect to so many women and help them through any challenges in their life by focusing on gratitude instead of that critic in their head.
Yes, because it can be very loud sometimes, but I think it's really important to remember to the act of kindness and gratitude, and being able to be around other empowering individuals like yourself in that space. Because I remember too, just going to it for the first time, and just the amount of love and compassion that's in that space is so beautiful. And continuing to do that and move it online, I'm sure there was little bumps in the road of getting it from in person to online at first, but being able to continue it now. Has it been for 2 years? I'm about over 2 years, right?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're about to celebrate our second year as paid membership. So it's been yeah. So since 2020, yeah, whenever, as soon as the pandemic started, we started that. So yeah. Yes. So that is it, it really is so beautiful to be able to see all of these wonderful women. And that's something I think too, that no matter what you're going into entrepreneurship wise, when you're looking for your niche, definitely pay attention to the people who you love to love. Because in order to be successful, I think, like, I pour my heart into everything I do and everyone that I come across. It's just, that I just, not in a codependent, I'm relying on your results type of way, but just in a, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to want to love to do it. And if I'm doing it with you, I want to love you. So your clients, your customers, whatever your world looks like as an entrepreneur, make sure that you can love them easily, because that's kind of what it's going to take. Like, if you have to be able to love the people that you work with. And I am so blessed to be able to do that.
And it just shines through too, just all the work that I've seen you do in person, online, everything. It just symbolizes too your name of your business as well. Just all the love that you do share and shower people with too. And I think that's what it is about. It's loving what you do and finding what works for you, and what you love right now might shift and change and pivot. And just like the pandemic made a lot of things pivot, but you use that to your advantage. You didn't allow it to stop you with your gatherings as well. You just moved it to the online space. And I'm sure that was a challenge, but what was like probably the best thing that came out of it? I know you mentioned a few things already, but like for you, what was the best thing of moving it online and being able to continue it?
The ease that it turned out to be for the people who were coming in person. As much as they loved it, they enjoy it, from the feedback that I have, even more, that now they can come more because it's online.
Right.
So, and they don't require, if they have kids at home, it doesn't require a babysitter. There's no planning or a pet sitter. Like, they can literally, so the fact that so many of them find it easier, that's awesome. And now we are in, I forget how many different states. So that's great that we can bring women together that weren't together before. And that is my biggest surprise with Kindness Shared also, because Kindness Shared had to go online. And I did not think that our animal programs were going to translate online. I didn't think that at all, but I was asked to do it, and I'm not going to say no. I'm like, hey, you think it's going to work? Let's give it a try. I don't know how, but, and it does. And now we have participants in like 10 different states. I think we're up to 90 participants. So they love it. They absolutely love it. And the barrier that broke down for them is that a lot of kids, when they were coming here, were all gung-ho. I love animals. I can't wait to pet them. I can't wait to see them and learn about them and all of the things. And then they get here and they're scared. So, they're like steps back. So it eliminated the barrier of fear. And yet they learn about them. They can tell you all of our animals' names. They can tell you their birthdays. They can tell you their histories. Like, they are involved as if they were here, and they are as connected to these animals as if they were here. Only the ones who had the fear when they got here, they don't have the fear. So it's like an even playing field for them. And we do have a lot of participants with disabilities that would prevent them from being able to get here. So this way they get to show up and they get to know just as much about the animals as somebody without different disabilities. So it really equalized the field for everybody to enjoy the animals without anything holding them back.
Oh,
that I would have never seen. I could have never seen that coming.
Definitely. Even just like kind of hearing about it too, because I know sometimes, especially kids might be a little shy or nervous around bigger animals or anything like that. But that desensitization, or like being able to desensitize the children to that and understanding, okay, well, let's learn about it. Let's see it on camera, the animal or whatever that goes on. Obviously, I'm not there, so I don't know. But from what you're saying too, it allows them to take it moment by moment and step by step versus
Yes.
just everything at once.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly, for sure. So going forward, I would imagine probably for both Hope in Our Heart and Kindness Shared, there will be probably a hybrid version
Yeah.
for our locals and for the people online, because you're not going to leave them behind now. Like they're family, they're
Yep.
family just as if they live next door. So everybody has to be included. So it'll just be the newer version of inclusion. And what does that look like? And I don't know. We'll find out eventually when the time is appropriate. But for now, yeah, it's amazing what we've been able to do online. Really blew me away.
I believe it. And I think that's amazing that you have been able to facilitate all the changes that did happen, but not miss a beat and just getting creative. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. It's pivoting when you feel like you're hitting a wall or something comes up. You're like, okay, how are we going to tackle this? I don't know, but we're going to try something. And that's what I feel like you have done throughout your journey, just everything that you've shared today. And I'm just so honored that have the opportunity to have you on today. But before I let you go, we're going to jump into the rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
I am ready. Yes.
Okay. The first question is, who is your hero?
My mom, for sure. Absolutely. Yes. Personally, professionally, all of the things. That would be my mom.
Ugh, I love it. Moms are the best. And what motivates you to work smarter when you're just, instead of working harder, just working smarter?
Well, I work smarter every chance I get because I really believe that life can be easy. It doesn't have to be a 16-step process for everything. What if it's, what if it is a little bit easier? And at the same breath, that doesn't mean that you're not putting in all the hours or putting in all of your energy. It just means you're funneling that energy to like the most effective place. Because when you love what you do, you tend to be working all the time anyway. So, do it in a way that fuels you rather than burns you out.
Yes, well said. So, if you were a superhero, what power or powers would you have?
All right. So I don't relate that well to superhero. However, TV wise or movie wise, and there probably are superhero things, but I'm an Adam Sandler fan. So I would say, remember Click? Like I would love
Oh, yeah.
to have a Click, but use it wisely, right? Like use it for good, because everybody has to feel the feelings and go through the
Yes.
stuff. But what if we could help them go through it a little faster? And what if we could help them stretch out those loving moments that are too far and few between sometimes? Or, so like I would love to use that remote for like good, healthy empowerment, not in the way that he used it,
Yeah.
and also probably like Dr. Doolittle. If I could actually speak to my animals, that
Yes.
would make my life a whole lot easier. I think maybe not. That might be a be careful what you wish for. And then I'd have one more, but this is TV, so it's I Dream a Genie. Like if I could just or Bewitched, just twitch your nose or blink your eyes and be somewhere and eliminate the whole travel portion and
Yes.
just be there. That'd be awesome. So that's
Like teleporting, right?
yes, exactly. Teleporting. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love that. I want that one too. But I love I was totally picturing Dr. Doolittle before when you said Adam Sandler in the beginning. I was like, oh, what about him? Because
Yes.
just like
Yeah.
the fact that you work with animals. Oh,
Yes.
those are incredible powers you would have. Maybe you will have them one day. Who knows? They might
Yeah.
pop up. So if you could share a meal with any four individuals, living or dead, who would they be?
Okay, so I only need three individuals, and that would be my grandpa, my dad, and my uncle Bill. They have all transitioned, so I would like to. I would definitely sit down with the three of them.
Oh, Power of generations.
Yeah.
I like that. That's beautiful. What is the most daring thing you've ever done?
I think the most daring thing I've ever done is write a parenting book where I basically spill everything I did wrong. That would be pretty daring. I think, like, my kids don't have to write a tell-all about me because I've done it.
There you go.
And my mom doesn't have to worry that I'm gonna, write a book about all the terrible stuff that, my childhood, this or that. Nope. No, I just put the spotlight here. This is all the things I did wrong. This is how you can avoid to do them. If you choose to, here you go. Yeah.
Oh man, I love it's taking accountability, but also just shedding light that nobody's perfect and learning from mistakes, but not even mistakes, just lessons learned of our lives and how we went about it.
For sure. And I figured when I put it out there, I'm like, if I can help one person, it is totally worth it, because that's it. There's just one person and it's worth it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. What is the phone app that you use the most?
Um, the one I like the most is Voxer. To be honest, the one I use the most is probably Facebook. But Voxer is my favorite.
Yes, I just got introduced to that app not too long ago. It's a good one. It's good.
Yeah, it really is.
It's very helpful. What is the last book that you've read?
The last book I read, I actually just reread, and it's called Life on the Sunny Side by Sunny Simon. Oh, she would be great for you to interview, by the way. She has a Life on the Sunny Side. It's just short little inspirational pages for busy women. So it's a good little it's not little, it's kind of big. So, but it's great because they're short reads. So I love it. And I guess full transparency, there is a chapter that she talks about me and how she published her book after coming to one of my vision board workshops. So, but it is right here on my desk. I did just flip through it again. So Mike, it's not a promotional thing. I swear it is. And she's such an amazing woman. So really
I'm like,
kind.
I remember her, like the name, because it's such a different name. She was such a sunlight.
Yes, right? Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. We got to talk. So if you were to have a movie about your life thus far, who would play you?
Well, hopefully somebody, I would say, let's say somebody brand new that is like, just really wants a role and wants to put their heart in it. And it gets to be like they're, like, I'm in a movie, like something that they've always wanted to do. That would be an unknown who it's like their big break would make me the happiest.
I love that. No, that's so awesome. Being able to really have that breakout role with your life story. So if you have a favorite family recipe that, whether it's traditional or just what you love to make as a family, what would that recipe be?
Well, for me, I don't cook. My husband does all of the cooking. And my favorite family recipes do come from my grandma, which so I got the recipes from her. I taught him how to make them. However, fast forward, I no longer eat them because for the past almost 10 years, I've been vegan. So I'm the only vegan in my family. But those particular, some of my grandma's key recipes, they're the family favorite. And then I eat a separate dish alongside. So, and I really don't have any favorites. I am not a big foodie whatsoever. So I'm happy to eat anything that's vegan, makes me happy. It's fine.
Easy to please.
Yeah. Yes.
So speaking of veganism, animals, what if you were to describe yourself as an animal, like personality type, what animal would you be?
Well, I would aspire to be, I hope I am, a pit bull. Years ago, I would have told you horse, but more and more I'm like, I don't have a spook in me like a horse. Like I do not spook. I don't like, I'm like, that's not it. And the more, I may have been a horse in a past lifetime. I don't know. I have spent enough time with them in this lifetime, but the more I work with pit bulls, I really hope that I'm like a pit bull, because they are the most loving animals. They are the most forgiving. I have just come across so many that have been so abused and neglected, and they never stop loving. They're trusting. Their power to trust and forgive and love is just flat out amazing. And the more vets that I work with, all say the same thing. So it's not just my experience, it's everybody's that I'm collectively gathering. Like, these animals, they're also the most misunderstood. And being shy and introverted, lots of my life I was very misunderstood. People put their own labels on me and thought what they thought about me, but never actually knew me, because I was always so quiet and kept to myself. So they're super misunderstood. And they're so loyal and want to please. Like, when you look at ones that have been misused and used for fighting, and it's not that they fight like that because they're vicious, they fight like that because they love you so much. Even though you're not being nice to them, they love you and they're giving you their whole heart. So I would hope to be a pit bull.
Oh, yes. No, my best friend has a pit bull rescue. She rescued, and just the sweetest, and they are very misunderstood, extremely. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that too. Little shout out to the pit bulls. Oh, we gotta love them. So what is one thing that can instantly make your day better if it's just not going the way you want it to?
I have a few go-tos. The sky, for sure. That's a good one for me. Gratitude in general. I could just start looking around and like, okay, let's get real. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that, right? It's all around us in this country that we live in. We have all this abundance and all of these blessings. And then if I feel like I'm missing something, or I'm just having one of those times where you're like in a lower vibration than you normally are, maybe, and feeling like whatever, I figure I can't be alone. There must be other people feeling the same. So I'll get on my phone and I'll start texting different people, like nice little, hi, I'm thinking about you, or an inspirational text, or an I love you, or I just kind of go out there and try to make a bunch of people feel better. And by the time I do that, then I feel better. I totally forgot why I started texting everybody. And next thing I know, all this time went by and I just spent all this time on my phone, just sending out love, and I feel better.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's just like a testament to who you are.
Thank you. You'll love it. You will love it. So the next time you're down, just say, what is it I want? What do I feel? Like, somebody else feels this way. Let me make their day better. Yeah.
Beautifully said again. And so if you do have a day off, you're not working with your animals or any clients, what is your favorite way to spend your day off?
I am such a happy homebody, so I won't be doing anything exciting. That's for sure. I may just be hanging out with my animals. Probably something family related, though. I do enjoy spending as much time with family as I can. So I'd probably be doing something with family.
Yes, family is the best. So my last question is, what is something an outsider wouldn't know about your industry?
Maybe two things. Maybe the generational impact, because people think about life coaching and it's like me centered, right? Like I'm making myself better. But what people don't necessarily know is that one of my favorite things about life coaching is that I get to touch generations, because when you make yourself better, if you have kids, you're making your kids better for it. Your relationship, even up the line with your parents, can be better, and grandparents and everybody in your family. So you get to help generations by working with one person. So maybe that's it. Maybe that would be my number one. People miss that or don't, see the full scope of the possibilities.
Yes, it's a greater impact than we're aware of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jen, I have one final question because I just thank you for your time. But where can people find you and hire you? Everything along those lines. We'll link it below, but if you could let us know too.
Okay, probably the best place because it would have all the links and the connections. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of free stuff there. So on my website at hopeinrheart.com is where you can get in touch with me. You can take a look at what I do. You can grab there's a bunch of free resources on there. Plus there's a link to Kind of Shared. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and the Instagram and Facebook links are on there as well. I'm just under Hope in Our Heart. Every place is Hope in Our Heart.
Perfect. Well, Jen, thank you so much for sharing all the amazing things you are up to in this world and just really changing the lives of so many people and animals in this world that is so necessary. But thank you so much for your time today and just being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so grateful. This has been so much fun.
Thank you. And we will see you all on the next video. Thanks for joining.